Chapter 8. Zelda tapped her fingers against the table, glaring at the nobles sitting across from her. Their judgmental looks, their tired eyes, their exasperated voices. As if she didn't already know. As if she wasn't already aware that they were disgusted with her presence, with her failure. She turned to her father. He was watching her, his eyes heavy and sad, but not disappointed. No, he'd gotten over that years ago. Now, he only felt pity when his daughter was on display like this, her inability to access her powers, her failures all on display, picked apart by those who had no idea what struggles she had to face.
And since then, it's still a threat, your majesties. Just because the calamity has yet to occur doesn't mean it never will. We have gotten lax in our procedures and hesitant in our desire to act. We cannot live in this kind of fear forever.
I am aware.
Zelda scoffed, as if they weren't aware.
I have not gotten as lax as you have. I do my duties as a priestess of Hylia, as princess of Hyrule, and as goddess chosen. I am only one person.
Another counselor continued on, their eyes intent on her.
One person who spends more time training with soldiers than in a temple.
At this, Rome sat forward.
Would you rather the princess be killed, Counselor? She's the main target of the Yiga clan. I will not have her in danger because you want her to sit in the Temple of Time each morning rather than the training yard.
That's not what I'm getting at.
Isn't it?
One of the older counselors, Lady Maud, suddenly leaned forward, her eyes and mind sharp for someone who had to be pushing close to her hundreds.
I knew your mother, and I knew your grandmother. Neither of them rolled around in the mud each morning with some boy. I've seen you two training. It's highly unbecoming behavior for a princess, let alone a high priestess, and frankly, sire, I'm surprised you've allowed this behavior to continue.
I am not a child. I can make my own decisions.
Respectfully, princess, you are not an individual. You represent an entire kingdom. You represent all Hylians who worship the goddess. If anything happens to you, we die. If you don't unlock your powers, we die. It's that simple. Your life, your actions, they're a concern to all of us. You're the Crown Princess Zelda Bosphoromus of Hyrule. Not a knight, not even a high priestess when it comes to it. You have a duty to your people, and you are failing.
Now that's enough, Lady Maud. Zelda, it's nearing the anniversary of the predicted calamity's date. I would suggest fewer training lessons until then, and more time in prayer. Once the date passes, you may return to your routine.
Majesty.
Goddess, she was lucky she held next to the most power at the table aside from the royal family.
I received information from one of the princess's maids. She found...
What?
Found a book hidden amongst the princess's belongings. Apparently, it was lying out on the bed, and she came to me rather than to you so as not to disturb your majesty with a matter from a maid.
Maud slid Plants and Horticulture of Hyrule Field across the table.
Open it.
Zelda shrank, holding her head in her hands. There wasn't enough in her to feel nervous. All she felt was a sinking pit in her stomach. She was about to lose her greatest ally, her father. And it was unsurprising when his horrified eyes darted up from the pages of the hidden book about Guardian technology and locked on to Zelda.
Where did you even get this?
I stole it.
It was a lie she easily told, eager to keep Purah's name off her lips.
You took my hobbies away. I needed something.
This is the real reason she's failing, Majesty. Distractions.
I am not distracted.
Zelda, I am so disappointed in you. I ask that you keep one thing out of this castle, and that is ancient tech. And you disobeyed me. Your life is at risk when this kind of material is around.
You took Purah and Robbie away from the castle. You moved all the Guardians into Hyrule Field. You got rid of all the books. You've done your job. I just wanted one little piece of it back.
Please, don't continue with that train of thought. I want you to know that this finding requires a search of your room now. It's policy when Guardian tech is found in the castle.
My room? No!
It's policy.
Father,
I'm sorry. We can't have any of this in the castle. I won't have it.
No!
Zelda stood in a huff. Maud scoffed.
Such a child still. Our fate is in your hands, and you won't consent to a small search through your books?
I am not a child.
Rome buried his face in his hands, letting out a pained sigh.
Just let this happen, Zelda. We can put it behind us quickly this way.
That's my privacy, and I want that maid fired. I don't care who it is.
You're not allowed a private life. No royal is. I'm not, your mother wasn't. It's just part of the territory. I'm so sorry. But that's the life you were born into. We take these measures for your safety. You are the single most important person in this kingdom. You have to understand.
No!
Her voice was pitching higher on the verge of tears.
I don't!
Start preparing for the anniversary, Zelda. There will be a ball, as usual. But I want you to preside over the ceremony this year.
Why would you want such a failure to do so?
Angered, she glared around the table.
You're still a high priestess. And you're not a failure. Especially not at that. You're an excellent priestess.
Rome spoke gently, his fingers thumbing the pages of her guardian textbook.
I'll speak to Link about perhaps reducing your training to a few days a week for now.
Goddess, yes, you do that, Your Majesty. You know best.
She grabbed her things and stormed out of the room, hardly caring that every eye was on her, watching on with curiosity or pity or glee at her shameful fall. She took the steps down the stairwell rather hard, her feet thudding on each one as she let out a burst of energy each time. It felt horrible, and her legs were shaking. She wanted to throw up, nausea roiling in her stomach, making her sick with every feeling that had begun to overwhelm her. Without knowing where she was going or why, she let her feet carry her away, swept through the castle until she was outside in the breeze for the second time that day. The dark gray sky drizzled, unlike the overcast morning, but Zelda could hardly bring herself to care about the drips of rain against her forehead, so long as her feet kept moving. Statues and stone pillars passed by her vision, the cobbled ground turned to grass, and the stone turned to an array of sculptured topiaries that she followed blindly. It was only a vague recognition that processed the figures turning to towering hedges as the walls closed in around her. Green hedges, brown dirt, gray sky. It was all she could see. There were no identifying markers, no paths or signs. She'd run straight into the garden hedge maze, turning several times to stare at the unfamiliar area. How many turns had she taken without realizing? How long had she been running?
Princess, stop!
Spinning, Zelda saw two guards skid around one of the hedges, and the shorter of the two ripped his helmet off. Link stared at her, his mouth dropping slightly. After taking in Zelda's face, he turned to the other guard.
I've got this.
With that, he hurried over to Zelda without even checking to see if the other guard had left.
Princess, are you hurt? What happened?
Zelda bit her lip as hard as she could when the tears burned her eyes. Link closed the gap, cupping her cheek in his hand.
What happened? Please.
But she couldn't answer. Her fingers dug into her hair, nails raking her scalp, and she sank to the mud in her dress. Link knelt in front of her.
You're scaring me, Princess. What happened?
A sob finally ripped out of her, and the release felt bittersweet.
What more can I do, Link?
What?
I've done everything I can think of. I've nearly drowned myself in those springs. I've slept on the floor in front of the statue of Hylia at the Temple of Time. I've prayed to the dragons for intercession. I've studied the diaries of my ancestors. I've screamed and I've cried and I've been full of joy and hate and nothing works. What's wrong with me?
Understanding washed over his features, and he sighed.
Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing.
Then where are my powers that will save my people? I need to save them. Even the likes of Maud. Why can't I do that? Was I meant to be the queen that leads them to death? Is that the legacy the goddess has ready for me?
No.
He reached out to put his hand on her shoulder, but Zelda shied away.
Please, don't touch me right now.
Okay. I'm sorry. What can I do to help?
Zelda laughed darkly.
Nothing. It's not like you can help me unlock my powers. Just leave me be. Maybe if I stay here until dark, my gifts will lead me out of the maze.
Link hesitated, not one to disobey an order, but also struggling at the sight of Zelda crumpled up in the mud, exhaustion settling hard over her face.
Princess, please don't make me leave you here like this. Let me at least help you out of the maze.
You found my book, you know? What harm is a book going to do? It's not like a guardian can just walk off the page.
Your book? From your room?
You didn't tell him, right?
Goddess, no.
At that, Link looked as though she'd slapped him.
I'd never do that to you.
The rain picked up, bouncing loudly off Link's armor. Zelda watched some of the splashes spray out and disappear.
I know.
She stood, brushing herself off and squaring her shoulders, though it didn't do much in terms of her defeated posture. She ran a hand along the stiff leaves.
My mother used to bring me into the hedge maze as a child. I'd cling to her skirts, terrified of getting lost. One day, she told me that she never knew where we were. We were always lost. It was the journey that she enjoyed, not the memorization of it. I did make her learn where certain flowers were. She took me to some daffodils that I'd planted, and they'd been eaten in the night. All that was left were the stems. I cried harder than ever before. But my mother took my hand and wrapped it around the flower, closing her fingers over mine. Warmth hugged my whole body, and my hand lit up. When I let go of the flower, it had been brought back to life, or regrown. My mother could do that, but that was the closest I've ever been to magic.
Magic isn't everything. You're going to be the one to lead us out of this messy world. I know it.
Zelda held out her hand to Link, longing for the touch she'd just shied away from. Link took it immediately, a surge of comforting warmth melding their hands together.
You're too kind to me,
I'm honest with you. That's all.
Link.
She paused to look around.
I don't even remember running into the maze, really. Where are we?
Southwest corner. The rain is picking up. Want to wait it out in the gazebo, or head back? Or sit here in the mud and rain?
Zelda's lips tipped up slightly.
Gazebo. I need the air, and I don't want to go back. Will you get in trouble?
No. I guard the gardens. The gazebo is the garden.
Southwest corner.
Suddenly, she tugged his hand.
Come on.
With single-minded focus, Zelda took several turns before emerging into a clearing with a small screened-in gazebo. Leading Link inside, she sat on a long bench-like seat, with Link beside her. It was only then that she let go of his hand, feeling the cold loss immediately, wondering if he felt the same. She leaned her head against his shoulder, but Link moved her away.
Hang on.
He undid the clasping on his armor with efficient speed before tossing the metal pauldrons and chest plate aside.
Okay. Go ahead.
Zelda grinned, but leaned against him. He was soft, much better than the harsh steel.
Do you think anyone will see us here?
In the rain? Unlikely.
After a long moment, Zelda turned her face into his arm, warming her nose.
Why did it have to be me? Do you ever wonder, if you were born someone else, would you still have the same expectations? The same fate? For instance, Mifa would have been much better at this than I am.
He started to run his hand along her arm.
Mifa wasn't hand-chosen by the goddess. You were.
I didn't want this. I never asked for it.
Maybe that's why she chose you. She knew you'd respect her power.
What powers?
Your power, princess, not your magic. You're more than just that.
Zelda lifted her head. Link was staring straight ahead, but when he saw her, his hand stopped and he turned to her with a soft smile.
Why are you so good at that?
You have to be more specific. I'm good at many things.
She laughed, and this time it was genuine. With a breath, she laid back down on his arm.
Calming me down.
I've never known you to be calm.
She laughed again.
I can be.
I've never seen it.
What do you mean?
Zelda sat up, fighting back a grin in favor of a mock scowl.
You're not. You're a ball of energy. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes not.
Zelda threw herself back against him, and his arms wrapped tightly around her, almost as a natural reaction. With a pout, Zelda got comfortable.
I'm calm right now.
Oh yeah?
Zelda could already feel goosebumps crawling over her skin. Now that she was settled down, she realized where she was. Link's presence soothed her, and his physical hold on her kept her grounded, far from her thoughts of magic when now all she could think about was how close he was. How bizarrely intimate this was. Unlike training, which was charged and aggressive, this was peace and utter contentment. But it was still Link, and he just couldn't resist himself. He leaned into her ear, letting his breath tickle her skin, each word moving her hair, his nose just far enough that she could sense it, but not feel it.
Then why is your heart racing?
Zelda sucked in a breath, grateful that he really couldn't see her face from his angle because she felt it burn. She wanted to melt, and she would have gladly in that moment. A nervous laugh bubbled from her chest.
You're far too comfortable teasing a princess, Link.
His grip tightened.
And you're far too comfortable in the arms of a lowly knight.
Scoffing, Zelda leaned back, buzzing with excitement and electricity in the most comfortable way. She felt like a young girl with the first crush.
Yes, well, you're my friend. I'm quite comfortable with you.
He hummed into her, and if he wasn't on duty still, she'd have sworn his eyes were closed, blissfully at rest.
And you're mine.